I'm Pam Atherton, and we're taking a closer look at entertaining for the holidays. And we've got DeeAnn McArdle with us. She is the founder of Unleash Your Inner Foodie. She is a hostess extraordinaire and has been giving us some tips on entertaining. Last time we talked about creating an experience. This time, what do we need to keep in mind, DeeAnn, as we're getting ready for the holidays and entertaining on the whole?
Well, the holidays are getting closer, so now we need to start really planning ahead. But the key is don't plan ahead too much. It's important to be organized, but really not to the point where you freak yourself out.
I don't know. I've watched Desperate Housewives, and, it seems like Bree really knows what she's doing. She's pretty organized. What's the problem with being too organized?
Well, let me tell you a little story about myself. When I first started entertaining, I was so excited. I wanted to invite this one couple over for dinner, and I had a menu in mind. So I started Monday night planning how this whole event was going to occur on the following Saturday. I came up with a menu. Then I started pouring through all my cookbooks, trying to find just the perfect side dish and then the perfect dessert. I had pages of ideas to the point where I'm like, shoot, now I don't know what. Do I go with this or do I go with what I originally planned? And I started to psych myself out, and I was losing my confidence. And what I discovered was once I let all that go, I went back to that very first original menu.
So that gut instinct to go ahead and trust that.
Absolutely.
So is there a problem if we do plan ahead? Let's say we do decide on that perfect menu, that you've said that you go back to your first idea with, and then we try to plot it down. Can it be a problem if we do try to plot it down too much, too far to the minute?
I think, it depends upon you as the individual. If you're confident and are organized, if you're super organized, that may be the route for you to go. If you're a list maker, then perhaps that's the way to go. But if you're just kind of new into entertaining and you're trying some new recipes and you're not totally confident in yourself, this is the area that can put you into that freak mode or that, oh my God, what was I thinking mode.
So what are some of the things that we need to keep in mind when we do plan ahead?
Well, I think you do want to stay focused on your original plan. In other words, if your goal, it kind of ties back to that creating that experience we talked about last time.
Yeah.
So if your goal is you want to invite these people over because you want to get to know them a little bit better, and you think it might be the best way to do that is by playing cards or playing a board game, then keep that menu easy so you can also concentrate on all the other things that you want to create during that event that night. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And so do we worry about, how far in advance we buy or anything along those lines, or what's at the market? Do we keep that in mind? What other things?
Yeah, those are super good points. Big problem that most people have is that they'll go and buy all of their stuff too far in advance. And one, you might not have a place to store it all in your refrigerator because, we do have the rest of the week to have to be preparing meals or putting takeout things in the refrigerator. So part of the problem is knowing when to buy things and when, and then where to store them. And you brought up a great point about what's at the market. Maybe you had planned to have a dish with asparagus, and you get to the store and you find out that either they don't have it or it's super expensive, and you think that you better choose something else.
Yeah. And what about the concept of having maybe a plan B, not for the whole meal, but for part of it? I know I've had situations where I was going to serve something and then I found out that the guest was allergic to it or just didn't like it. What about that?
Yeah, I think that's a really great idea. And, and I'm going to have a great tip for how you can stay organized when we in another session here that I think that you guys are going to really, really like. Even if you are not a super list maker, I think this is going to be a great tip to help you plan ahead and stay organized and maintain your confidence and not freak out.
Oh, we need that. Boy, do we need that. DeeAnn McArdle, our guest today, as we're talking about unleashing our inner foodies. In fact, you can go to unleashyourinnerfoodie.com. She is a hostess extraordinaire giving us good tips for the holidays. We've got more coming up, so make sure you keep coming back to hear from DeeAnn McArdle. I'm Pam Atherton with a closer look.